I was wrong about Kaguya Sama Love is War. Now, this is something I'm willing to admit because I used to be one of the people who hated on this anime. Now, I watched it when it was first airing a few years ago. It was actually a while back now. They only had like 8 episodes out, and I watched the first three and then decided that I wanted to drop it. But I revisited it this year, and I gotta say, I love this show. I understand the appeal of this series as well as the fact that I am now a Kaguya Sama fan because God, this show is hilarious and it's honestly just such a fun watch. So let's jump into my thoughts on why I started to appreciate this anime. The execution of this anime is honestly one of its strongest points. In fact, I'd say it probably is this anime's strongest point. The execution and the way this anime flows has been refined to damn near perfection. Now, the reason I say that is pretty much right at the beginning when you start a Kaguya-sama episode. There's the intro, and this intro has to be one of the best intros I've seen in anime. As we know, the intro starts off talking about love and relationships, but then puts a twist on it and shifts the focus to on how love is a silent war. Love is a battle, and the last words of the intro are love is war. Now, this was probably one of the best executed intros I've seen. Now, not only does this intro tell you what the show is about, but it's funny, it adds intrigue, it sets the tone. All these things within 30 seconds. And as it cuts to the opening, you can get a feel for the character's awkwardness and the relationship between the two characters. And this is within the first 5 seconds of the opening. Because as we see, Shirogane and Kaguya go close to each other and then they stumble. And in that moment, they both make eye contact and start blushing. And as the opening continues on, the two start to separate to show the barriers and distance they created between each other. And this is all done in such an easy to recognize fashion. And as the opening continues, you see that they start bringing out all these different weapons and arms, showcasing the battle and adding to that theme of love being war. So by the time you actually start the first episode, you have a good idea of how the show's going to be and how the vibe's going to be from the opening and the intro, which is why I really liked the way this was executed. Now, intros aside, the most important part of an anime obviously is the execution of the episodes, and Kaguya is a bit unique when it comes to its execution of the episodes. Now, every episode we get pretty much what feels like 2 or 3 in one, due to the episodic format of the series. So when you're watching one episode, you usually have 3 different events that happen in that same episode, 3 different conflicts within the same episode, and these 3 conflicts all get resolved within that same episode, which is why I can see the appeal of watching a show like this weekly. Because after one episode, you feel like you've seen 3. It's not like the show is too long where you feel like the episodes are going on for too long, or it's too short so you feel unsatisfied and you feel grumpy about having to wait another week. After watching one episode of this show, you can feel satisfied and you can wait out those 7 days. Now, though I personally binged this series, I think I might have enjoyed it even more if I was watching on the weekly basis, because then I can really soak in each and every episode instead of just jumping over to the next. But regardless, the way they formatted these episodes is something I really love. The way the episodes constantly change between different conflicts keeps me entertained and never has me looking at my phone or getting up to go do something else for a second. I'm just there sitting back and enjoying what's being presented in front of me. And that pretty much sums up how I feel about the execution of the show and why I think it is actually really well done. And now for what pretty much makes the show, the characters. Now, obviously I'll start off with our main duo because everything in the show pretty much revolves around them. Shirogane Miyuki and Shinomiya Kaguya. Now, these are our main characters, and honestly, in my opinion, of course, the best characters in the show. Now, Shirogane tends to be more serious most of the time, at least externally, and then Kaguya's kinda a bit of both. She shows more emotion than Miyuki, but at the same time, she tends to be pretty serious when she wants to. And whenever I feel myself even getting a little bit bored, we have Chika, who comes through to pretty much lighten up the mood. Whenever Shinomiya or Miyuki are in a clash that doesn't seem like it's about to end, we have Chika who jumps in to loosen up the mood. Now, there's some points where Chika almost feels like a plot device. Whenever they don't know how to finish that conflict, it feels like they just throw in Chika. Now, I'm not saying this is a bad thing, because Chika definitely brings a nice contrast to Kaguya and Shirogane's more gloomy vibe or more darker mood with her energy and her charisma. And then moving over to the other student council member, we have Yui Ichigami. Now this guy is actually just funny because he pretty much is the gloomiest one amongst them. So whenever Kaguya gets her little anger issues or anger problems, somehow Yu is always perfectly set up to take her wraths. And I find it hilarious how this guy's always pretty much at the bottom end of the stick. This guy's always getting done dirty in every moment, and I just think it's funny, man. I haven't even seen this guy take a single win in the entire show. Yeah, but I do enjoy his character because his gloominess definitely brings a different aspect of comedy to the show. Now, there's a lot of funny character dynamics that I'm not going to talk about in this video because I don't want this video to be too long, but the dynamic between Kaguya and her butler, Ai Hayasaka, is pretty good. The way Ai is always calm and collected, and is always there to show a strong and loyal face to Kaguya, even when she disagrees with Kaguya. And this is why I honestly like this character quite a bit. And I also feel like I wish I could see more emotion from this character because we don't get too much of Ai showing how she truly feels. Now, though I'm not caught up, I am decently into the show. So I'm hoping that in the next few episodes or in season 3 we can get some more moments where I can show more emotion and we can get more deeper into her character. And yeah, that's pretty much gonna be it. So in conclusion, Kaguya Sama is actually a really good show that doesn't try to do too much, with a simple plot, enjoyable characters, and a really nice vibe around the series. And for a little message to the me of the past, you were wrong about Kaguya Sama, Love is War.